Hi, and welcome to the Drama Club. On this week's episode, it is our Oscars extravaganza. And then Stef's got the tragic story of Phil Hartman, and then I've got the disco story of Studio 54, all on this week's episode.
What up, fam? It's good, y'all. Feels good, right? Yeah, I know it do. And without further ado, we broadcasting live from CA.
They were the best samples we've ever had, and then Andy started crying.
I would cry too.
Started crying because he wanted to go with us. Oh, my God.
One time I went like on a Monday morning, and I was like low key the only one there. I was like the queen of Costco, and they had the best fucking samples. Like I was like walking around, like damn, like there was no competition or anything. I was like,
you didn't even gotta wait. Ravioli, here you go.
Yes,
Cheese cube,
exactly.
don't mind if I do. Little smoothie station. Oh, I love when they have those little stations.
Oh God, that was the best day of my life.
Usually these are 2 for $24, but today we have them 2 for $14, and I'm like, oh, I'll take 2, and then I like leave them like in some other aisle. Fuck you, you guys aren't trapping me. Anyway, so I told her this is our plea for Costco to sponsor us.
Please
sponsor us.
Tijuana Costco, please sponsor us.
Yeah, we need medicine for May because she's going through something.
I need the NyQuil, yo. I almost bought the NyQuil at Costco when I seen it. I was like, but it wasn't that much cheaper. So I was like, no, I would gladly pay as I go at CVS. Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna trap myself into buying all this fucking NyQuil.
Yeah, I love CVS too. Even though everything's overpriced, it's so nice.
Oh God, I spend so much fucking money at CVS. No,
me too, because their fucking makeup and like skincare aisles are fantastic.
Yeah.
I
got some stuff on the agenda.
Okay.
Oh, let's introduce ourselves first.
Oh, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Stephanie.
I have a name also.
Yeah. Are you gonna say it?
I'll try to keep the mystery alive. Just the tension.
I was gonna say it, and then I was like, well, that's the whole point of introducing ourselves would be,
so people can tell the difference between us.
Yeah, if I just like say both of our names. My name is Stephanie, and her name is May. Good luck figuring out which one's which.
My name is May, and together we are the Drama Club and Club de Drama. And this is our real ass episode, which is different from our Afternoon Delight episodes.
This is the real ass episode.
This is the podcast where we talk to you all about scandals and celebrity gossip and just like
drama
for your mama and your uncle and your grandma.
Yep. I hope you guys enjoyed the prom picture of us that May put up.
Oh yeah.
My coworker went and talked to. She like went from her office, walked to my office, and then talked to me about it.
It was a very popular Instagram post. If you don't follow us on Instagram, you're missing excellent content such as our prom picture from 2006.
Yep. Hit us up at Drama Club Pod.
Okay. I have
an agenda, you said. Damn.
Yes. Did you watch the Lorena documentary series?
I watched the first episode. And I thought it was interesting, but it was everything I already knew.
Right.
So it was kind of slow for me.
Yes.
So I haven't I haven't even thought about going back to finish it. How did you like it?
I enjoyed it, but
okay.
If you're a listener of this podcast and if you listen to that episode, there's no new information.
Oh, okay.
I think like I'm proud of us for covering the bases and
good, man.
Asking the right questions and stuff. But I do think it's important to hear from Lorena herself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like Lorena from what I saw in the first episode. I also like seeing her homegirl.
Oh yeah,
not Donna. What's her name?
Her boss,
Jana.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jana.
Yeah,
she's fuego, and I like seeing her.
And I love that my girl Lorena's looking good.
Yeah,
whereas
she looks good as fuck.
John Bobbitt.
Oh yeah, he looks bad.
Just being an asshole will age you.
boy, and she's like she looks like she's in a nice suburban, like 4-bed 3-bath house, 2-floor house, and he's in some shitty fucking apartment drinking out of a big gulp. So
no shade to big gulps, but
no, I'm throwing all the shade at big gulps. That's disgusting. Drink some fucking water.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk to you about that. I wanted to talk to you about I guess we'll talk about that in a minute. Did you hear about
your agenda is getting out of order, me. Oh my god.
Did you hear about Chris Burrows? He was an anchor here in LA on KTLA 5.
Oh, yeah.
That's
died. Crazy. He died suddenly and he was young.
Right.
How old was he when he died?
I want to say 40s.
Here, let me look it up.
Okay.
1975. So yeah,
3? Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So Chris Burrows died suddenly. It was a big deal when it happened here in LA.
Yeah, it was like everywhere, like beloved KTLA anchor found dead, and at the time they made it seem kind of like it was a suicide.
So, well, we knew that it was like not a sudden illness or anything like that because he was found dead like at a seedy motel.
Right. But so this week the information came out. Go ahead.
Yeah. And
you brought it up, so I want you to say it.
Okay. Well, he died tragically of
overdose.
Of a meth overdose.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy part is that the way he ingested the meth was through his butthole.
Yeah, it was like 2 bags shoved up his butt.
It was anal. I didn't realize people were doing meth in the anus like that.
Was it a male sex worker or was it a male lover?
No, I think it was a sex worker.
Okay. And he's married to a woman with a child.
Yes. I think he has a couple kids.
Yeah. So the whole situation is pretty shocking.
It's real scandalous. Like, that's just not the way you want to die. Like,
no. Like you died in the way where all your damn secrets came out.
Yes, exactly.
Like what else?
Yes. Like R.I.P. and I hope you are like.
And he was like fucking doing fraud taxes on the bedside next to him. Like all his fucking secrets just came out all at once.
And he cheated on his SATs in 1987.
I know. Like his real SAT score was just nearby. Oh man.
Like
I feel bad for his wife.
I hope you are having all that good bisexual sex in heaven, but like, my dude.
No, that fool is not in heaven.
There's a better way.
Bags of drugs shoved up your ass. You are not in heaven.
Let he who has not shoved drugs up their ass cast the first stone. Who has not traveled internationally on an airplane? Am I right?
With drugs up their ass. Travis Barker actually shockingly was on Joe Rogan maybe 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about that like when they first started touring in the late 90s before 9/11 that they would
never forget.
Yeah, they would have weed just taped all over their ass and nuts and stuff. And then and they'd go to a rack and then they'd get high.
That's how we know the terrorists have won because we can no longer do that.
Never forget. Do we have a hot topic or not really?
The Oscars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to it.
Yeah. All right, guys. The moment you have all been waiting for.
Dun, da, da, da.
All right. We said, I think last week, we started this podcast shortly after the Oscars, and we were so mad at ourselves for starting late in our eyes because this was obviously something we wanted to talk about last year.
Yes.
But now our time has come.
Yeah. How did you feel about the no hosting?
I didn't care.
I didn't either. I was like, this is perfect. Don't have a host.
It was fine, especially because we opened with Tina, Amy, and Maya.
Yeah, that was perfect.
That's fine.
Just always open with somebody who's pleasant. It was so funny. Every presenter, Hoa was like, they could have host. Like, they could have host. Trevor Noah, they could have host.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts, she could have host. Like, everybody was like, they could have host. They could host. Like, all these not problematic people. Selma Blair, let her host.
Ooh, I love Selma Blair.
Yeah, and she's going through a hard time, and that's like a good gig she could get.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and she's looking incredible. Shout out to her.
Shout out to Selma Blair. She looked fucking awesome.
Selma Blair is like low key. I always wish that she was more famous or getting like better roles because this girl can dress. Like,
yeah, she's beautiful.
She's into fashion, and I was like, if she were like a higher profile celebrity, she would be getting dressed by like Louis Vuitton. She would be like Michelle Williams or something.
Yep, totally. Yeah, she dresses awesome. The thing is, I really like the movies she in. They're not great movies.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
but they're like totally our generation, I think.
Right. What's that one with Christina Applegate, who you guys know we love, Cameron Diaz and Selma Blair? What's that one?
I fucking love that movie. It's so dumb. The Sweetest Thing.
Yeah,
that one. So bad, but I like it.
So, okay, Oscars, the hostless thing, fine. I feel like do that every year. I guess it's
John
fine.
Mulaney and Awkwafina, let them fucking host.
But I think you do need someone at the end, maybe, so you don't have like the Julia Roberts situation where she was just like, I guess it's over.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, that was funny. Yeah, Julia Roberts, by the way.
Ooh, she
looked amazing.
The best she's ever looked.
That was crazy. That dress looked beautiful on her. She was glowing.
That color was amazing on her. Her hair color was fucking on point.
I felt like when I see like Nicole Kidman, like I was like, oh my God, that is a movie star.
Yeah, for sure.
It was awesome.
I usually don't like the way she dresses. And
yeah, she's got weird style.
Even when she won, like she was fine, but it was like boring, you know?
Yeah, true.
And like this was just like next level. So good for you, Julia.
Yeah, good for you. You the real MVP. You go, girl.
Big mistake. Huge.
I love Pretty Woman.
Who else did you like their outfit?
Their outfit? Let me think.
I thought Regina King looked like
yeah, she looked
in
amazing.
That white, was it Valentino? No, it was Oscar de la Renta.
Yeah, she looked awesome. Did you like Charlize Theron's dress?
I know that this is controversial, but I like Charlize Theron's dress because who else can wear that dress?
No, I mean her body is fucking crazy.
Right. Like she's 6 feet tall, her body is banging. Like I don't always need her to look pretty. Like there's plenty of girls on the carpet who are looking pretty.
Yeah.
You know, she was doing fashion. I
low-key didn't like the jewelry she had with it. It was kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah. You're right.
It was whatever for me. But I thought she looked beautiful. Even though like, I know people were like not having it. I really liked Casey Musgrave's dress.
Ooh, did you see that thing I sent you today?
Yes, oh my God. She just performed Selena. What the fuck?
On the anniversary of Selena performing at the Houston Astrodome, she performed at the Astrodome and she performed Como la Flor.
I didn't like Emma Watson's dress or Emma Stone's dress.
Emma Stone?
Yeah. It was whatever. It was Louis Vuitton. I saw that.
I wish it was a different color.
Yeah, it was weird.
I think somebody said it looked like when you burn the skin on a fish.
It does. What the fuck?
But it's definitely not my favorite look from her. Who I usually really like the way she dresses.
Yeah, so. I really like her. So my cousin Gabby was saying she doesn't like her. And she was like, I like her movies, but I don't like her. And I was like, really?
Nope. Now I'm beefing with Gabby.
How'd you like Bradley's woman, not Lady Gaga, Arena?
She was fine. She was pretty.
Yeah, she looked good. How'd you like Gaga's dress?
I didn't like that.
Me either. I didn't like the gloves.
It looked better when she took the gloves off.
Yeah. Oh God, we'll save a moment for Gaga. Jason Momoa and fucking Lisa Bonet though.
Oh, they were like the prom king and queen.
Yeah, they were fucking matching and shit.
Yeah. Oh, did you notice Javier came without Penelope?
Solo, yeah. That's so. Ooh, I don't know. That sucks. I actually looked up how long they've been married. Like when I saw his ass. He seemed all happy and like extra too. I was like, relax, Javier.
How long have they been married? Like 10 years?
Like since 2003, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know.
I liked Constance Wu again. She was my favorite at the
Oh,
Golden
yeah.
Globes, and like she was looking very pretty.
Oh, yeah. She looked like frosting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dress was really nice. And a color that nobody else was wearing.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody was in their pink.
Pink, yeah. It's funny how everybody ends up kind of doing the same thing.
I really like the way Brie Larson was dressed,
Oh,
but I feel like the metallics were hot last year though, which is
because I also felt that way about J-Lo. Like I was like, oh, okay, more of this.
Yeah. And J-Lo, I feel like that's for the Grammys, yes. For the Golden Globes, yes. Maybe not for the Oscars, but I mean, she looks amazing.
Yeah. Did you see the dress and her hair and stuff for the Vanity Fair party, J-Lo?
No, she changed.
Yes, and I thought she looked better there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, why did she do that?
I loved seeing the pictures of people at the parties, though.
Oh, me too. John Hamm.
My man's John Hamm.
Who, AKA, by the way, according to Anti-Lawyer, got too drunk before the party, and then the whole party was, like, drunkenly hitting on some model.
Why was I sick? Why was I not invited to the Oscars? I don't want to lay on his belly button. Like,
I'm sure you can. Did you see Melissa McCarthy and her husband changed into Adidas tracksuits for the Vanity Fair Oscar
No,
party?
they didn't.
They look fucking sick, dude, honestly.
Hey, honestly, Melissa McCarthy might have been one of the best dressed. That pantsuit was like amazing.
And I think that it's her own line.
What?
Because she said that a lot of designers won't dress bigger women.
Yeah.
So she just started making her own shit.
Shout out to her because she looked amazing. She was like one of the best fitting.
It looked beautiful, that cape and the pantsuit. And it's true, you never see like bigger women and stuff like that because they just don't have options.
Yeah.
She's cute. I like her. Like,
I do. I like her too.
Yeah.
That would have been a great host.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's so many people. Literally everybody.
I have to say that I was underwhelmed. You've known me for a long time. What's my favorite part of award shows?
Oh, the in memoriam. It's so funny because when that part came on, I was like, oh no, why are they going to do this right now? It's Sunday. And I was like, this is May's favorite part. And he was like, why? And I was like, I don't know. She's a freak. Oh, real quick, let's shout out Allison Janney, who always looks like a fucking queen.
Always looks fucking incredible because her body's banging.
Yeah, she is so fucking underrated as just like a person on this earth.
As a bad bitch, yes.
Yeah.
But the in memoriam section, I was underwhelmed.
Yeah. Why? So Vern Troyer wasn't on there, which I thought that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it's totally fucked up.
And then did you see on Twitter a few days before everybody was trying to get the comedian who just committed suicide?
Oh, yeah.
Billy Porter?
Because he was in The Hangover.
Oh, it's not Billy Porter. Sorry.
No, but Billy Porter looked amazing, though.
Oh, yeah. That's the guy. Sorry, I just Googled Billy and he came up. Yeah, that dress suit combo thing, that I want to wear that shit. That thing's beautiful. For sure. Yeah, it was kind of underwhelming, sorry.
Yeah, well, that just means that no incredible people died.
Yeah, that's true, which is a good thing. Because you know what? I feel like sometimes they play longer parts of when they're talking, instead of just like picture. And I felt like this time it was more picture.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, because usually they'll, like, for somebody big, they'll stop it and they'll show like a tiny clip of their.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's. You live for that.
Because, like, God forbid, but like when like Jack Nicholson dies, it's gonna be like, you can't handle the truth, and then like it's gonna be
amazing.
Oh yeah. You see, you like it too.
I do like it too. It's weird. It's a weird thing to like, though. Low key.
But they had Burt Reynolds died, and I feel like it was just like a picture of him smiling and like
he was just like low key driving with his mustache and shit. Yeah, it's weird. How did you feel about so Spike Lee won an Oscar for writing Black Klansman. Mm-hmm. I hear whispers, or I don't think they're whispers. I just think that I don't know what's going on, that he was mad that Green Book won.
Yeah, he literally got up and walked out as soon as they announced it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Why is he mad?
Well, first of all, I have no intentions of watching Green Book, so I couldn't tell you if it was a good movie or a bad movie.
Yeah, I don't know. My parents watched it and they liked it, but that's not. I wouldn't take. My parents also. I don't know.
It's just
they're old. Like they. That's all I'll say about.
Sure, it's like people are just mad that they're rewarding this movie that's like congratulating this white guy for not being racist. And the movie is about like Mahershala Ali's character.
Yeah.
Right, but why is Viggo Mortensen the lead actor? Nominated for lead actor, and Mahershala won for best supporting actor. And Peter Farrelly, the director, he famously would flash actresses his dick. Like he flashed Cameron Diaz his dick before There's Something About Mary.
Oh my gosh.
That was like a joke that he used to play. And one of the producers is one of those, he's like a 9/11 truther, not a 9/11 truther, but he's one of those guys that said that he saw Muslims cheering in New Jersey when the towers fell.
Oh gosh.
Just a straight up lie.
Yes.
Like, he's just a piece of shit. It's just like why are we rewarding this movie?
Yeah. That's weird.
And then he also said, Viggo Mortensen famously said the N-word at ArcLight during a Q&A a few months ago. Yeah, he had to apologize, and it's just like, ugh, come on, guys.
That's annoying. Huh. Well, that's the Academy for you. Dude, A Star is Born was fucking nominated for like everything, and I'm like, really?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh my god. I've only seen clips of it, and it looks awful. It looks like awful acting. It looks like...
Someone called it a VH1 movie. And after I read that, I was like, yes, yeah,
that's exactly what it seems like. Yeah. Did you see that tweet going viral? That's like, this movie won best editing, and it's like the most editing ever.
Yes. And I mean, we have to talk about our girl Glenn Close.
Oh, who was robbed?
A robbery.
And our girl Yalitza. If anybody was going to rob Glenn Close, it was going to be the Mexican that was nominated, okay?
Yes.
Because we're fucking thieves. We're Hispanic. We're out here stealing your jobs and your Oscars. So it was going to be my girl, Yalitza. It was so crazy. Like, I was literally stressed out. I was, like, telling her, like, I don't know what... Like, I really wanted Yalitza to win because, because she's brown, and, like, I really want her to win.
Of course, yeah.
But I really... thought Glenn Close deserved to win.
She, of course, deserved to win. I mean, not to take anything away from Olivia Colman,
for sure.
Who was amazing, and like, my God, what a great movie.
But, and her fucking speech. Oh my God, man.
Yes, because she was caught off guard.
Did you see that shit? It was like, give her another Oscar for that speech, because that shit was so... Like, that's exactly how I want to see people when they win. Like, just so authentic and like...
Yeah.
Like, her real personality shines through, and it just makes you love her so much more.
Right, exactly. Someone tweeted, they said, like, how can I be simultaneously so happy for Olivia but so sad for Glenn?
I know. No, it's exactly.
And that's it. Because, you guys, it's the biggest robbery since the Brinks, as some old Hollywood person used to say. But Steph had a good point. She said, because obviously we were texting during the whole Oscars, and when I was able to pick myself up off of the floor,
I fucking I think I was like, what? Like, I fucking fell into like San Junipero. Like, I was in another dimension. Like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. Well, Steph said, good point. She said, I wonder if the Academy just doesn't like her.
Yeah, because she's been nominated more than anybody, right?
This is the new record.
Yeah, and she's never won, and she's been acting for her whole fucking life.
Because you know who second place is? Amy Adams now.
Oh, Amy? Dude, I was thinking about that too. Hold on. So Glenn, I totally think it must be the Academy doesn't like her. And low-key, I heard that she's hard to work with.
I can see that.
Like, she's diva-ish. But don't she fucking deserve... If anybody deserves to be a fucking diva, can it not be Glenn Close?
Yes. But honestly, like, obviously we don't know her, but I would imagine that it would be just that she's so serious about her fucking craft,
right?
You know,
she's like a fucking actress.
Like, I don't think it would be out of nowhere. Like, bring me my iced coffee. Like, I don't think it would be like that.
No,
shit.
Totally. Like, she's fucking stressed. She's working. She's trying her damn near best. So she doesn't have time to fucking fluff her own pillows. You fluff her fucking pillows,
and you be happy about it.
You know, no, I'm with you. So I don't know what that's about. But I was totally thinking about Amy when she lost again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the whole Oscars to me looks so glamorous and so exciting. I can't imagine what it feels like to be there amongst all those other people, you know?
Yeah.
And at like the best of the best parties, you know, you're going to have the best of the best, like, food and champagne. And it's just like fucking A-list all the way. You have to be excited. But like Amy, I wonder how she feels. Like, because it's like, let's go again so I can lose again, you know?
Well, I think in a year like this year, I don't think she expects to win. So I think it's just fun, you know?
Yeah, I hope so. But
the
also,
expectations are low.
The more you're nominated, the more you think like, God, don't I deserve this? Because just to be nominated is a fucking big win, I think.
It's an honor. Yeah.
And when you've been nominated so many times, it's like, fuck. Like,
and when you're the hardest working woman in showbiz, like Amy Adams.
She sure is.
My mom said they gave her the night off to go to the Oscars. I was like, okay, drama clip.
That's hilarious.
No, but I think that, but Amy must look at someone like Glenn Close and be like, well,
fuck, you know?
You know, like, what are you going to do? It's just, sometimes it's your year and sometimes it's not. And fuck.
That sucks. I love what Olivia said. She's like, I didn't want it to be like this. Everything she said, I was like, oh my God, falling in love with her. Even when she tried to say thank you to her parents.
Yes.
She was like, Mom, Dad. And then she's choked up and she was like, you know.
Hey, shout out to The Crown season 3.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. I hope she gets her fucking paycheck.
Yeah, fuck yeah, me too. I can't wait. I also liked the people that I want to watch this movie, The Skin. It's a short film documentary series. The people that won were, fuck, I'll tell you their names because I feel bad. Anyways, whatever. The Skin won short documentary or short film documentary, and they got up there, and the girl was just like, "Whoa!"
Oh yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah, that would be me if I won. I would just be like, "Wow!" Which I thought was great. That's a good ass speech.
Dude, if I won, I would just be like pointing people out. I'd be like, oh my God, there's Meryl. Where is John Hamm? Someone get him a drink. I'm coming, baby.
I want him nice and drunk by the time I get to him.
Did you see the now iconic picture of Madonna and Gaga in bed with the Oscar?
Yeah, that's interesting to me. That's your girl, so I won't say too much.
No, she's just like Madonna is a leech.
Yeah,
like,
she's just like an attention whore, I think.
Yeah,
you know?
So she's like, Gaga won. This is a way to
keep her like relevant, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, whatever.
And in Gaga's documentary, she talks shit on Madonna. She says like, I just wish that she were nice to me. Like
Madonna doesn't like her, I thought, right?
Right.
Yeah, like said that she tries too hard and all this stuff, which is fresh.
And she bites off of her is what Madonna said. So Gaga was like, I just wish she was nice to me. Like I just wish that whatever in her documentary.
Yeah.
So look at that.
Damn.
I saw something that I did not know about Gaga. I guess when she was in college, I took a screenshot so I could send it to you.
She went to college?
Yeah, she went to like NYU Tisch to drama school.
Mm-hmm.
When she was in college, someone started a Facebook group called Stephanie Germanata, You Will Never Be Famous.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is some next level bully mean girl shit.
Yeah, that's weird. Like, why would you even, like, what pleasure do you possibly have from that?
Yeah. And So shout out to Gaga because
Damn, and she kept this screenshot?
I don't think she posted that. I think somebody else posted it.
Closed group 12 members. That's hilarious.
And I heard that the page still exists, but they changed it to something like don't get it twisted, Gaga is not a nice person or something like that.
Whoa.
But that's just like straight up hate though.
Oh, I found it. Stephanie Germanotta, you will never be famous. Oh, and they're saying, yeah, it's time to expose Gaga's bitchy side.
What? People aren't allowed to be bitchy anymore?
I know, damn. Let a bitch.
What were you going to say about her performance with Bradley Cooper?
Oh my god, nothing. It's just a fucking gag.
I just, we didn't need that performance. She could have done it by herself. And that's not the best song on the movie.
Oh, really?
No, the final song is actually really great. That song's the one they sang is whatever, I think.
Yeah, they were just, I don't know. She's just so extra. Like when she won, the way she was crying and stuff.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god, rolling my eyes.
Yeah, we're not going to hear the end of this for a minute.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like when Anne Hathaway won. Remember, she was like,
oh yeah,
and then she said like she had a lot of hate or something after she did that. It's just like kind of too much. Like,
yeah,
just fucking be a boss. Just go up there and be like, thank you. I liked her speech when she was like, I worked really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool.
I respect that.
Yeah, me too. I don't like how everybody keeps thinking that her and Bradley are together. Like, no, they're not.
Nope.
They're really good at what they do, obviously. They have all you idiots fooled.
Yeah, but now they're doing that shit on purpose.
Yeah, for sure.
And now it's too much. Like, stop it, guys.
Now we're rolling our eyes some more.
Yeah. I don't fuck with Bradley Cooper anyway, so I just want him to just stop it in general. Just go somewhere. Oh, Rami Malek fell off the stage.
Oh, yeah. And his fake ass kiss with that chick, Lucy Boynton.
Oh, yeah.
It was so extra. Rami Malek is a weird dude. Like, he's perfect for Mr. Robot. He just needs to always play Mr. Robot.
Just go be Mr. Robot.
Yeah. Yeah, that was so weird. He kissed her like twice. Then he stood her ass up. Kissed her again. Then he said she was his heart or some shit.
He said she was the heart of the movie. That a woman, Freddie Mercury's ex-girlfriend, was the heart of the movie about Freddie Mercury. Okay. All right.
Yeah, with things like proclamations of love like that for show, it's compensating for something that doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. A great thing is like what Olivia Colman did, where she couldn't even get the words out and was like, because when you really love someone, you don't even have to say anything.
Right.
They know,
Yeah.
You don't have to kiss them 5 times in front of people. You don't have anything to prove, basically,
Didn't Hilary Swank forget to thank her husband twice?
Yeah. She's just like, I don't know. I keep forgetting.
Give a fuck.
Yeah. That would be me. I would forget. But what do I need to thank you for? I thank you every fucking day.
Hey, Hilary Swank low-key got 2 Oscars like barely
quick,
within like 5 years, I want to say, of each other.
Yeah.
And where is she now? Where is Hilary Swank?
Was it for $1 Million Baby?
$1 Million Baby and Boys Don't Cry.
Oh, Boys Don't Cry. Yes. Wow, where is she now? She resting. She don't got to work now. I was saying that the other day to Jose. I was like, what's her name's? Ocean's 8, Miss Congeniality. Sandra Bullock. Yeah. I was like, Sandra Bullock doesn't work enough. And he was like, she doesn't have to. And I was like, oh, that's true, I guess.
And she like has at least 1 small kid now. Maybe even 2.
She's just living her life.
Yep. Getting that Botox, baby.
God damn it. Go make some movies for us.
Miss Congeniality 3. Ooh. Where's Benjamin Bratt needs that paycheck.
Yeah, he sure does.
Oscar winner Regina King to reprise her role from Miss Congeniality 2.
That would be amazing. I love that Regina King one. Also, let's just briefly shout her out. And I loved Ice Cube's tweet and the picture he posted of him and her.
Oh yeah, so
that
cute.
was the coolest shit ever. It's so funny because every time I see her, I just think when she's like, "Ha, you need a job."
Give her an Oscar for that.
Fuck yeah, that shit's so funny to me. That's awesome. She deserves that shit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, I guess that's it, guys.
This was your Oscar spectacular. Now stay tuned for our pre-recorded segment.
Once again, May has not introduced herself.
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did? All right.
Yeah.
All
Steph forgot, but Stephanie, my name is May. God damn it.
My bad.
He is not only a top actor, but a regular guy in the judgment of his co-workers.
Hi, guys. May's sick.
Yeah. The saga continues.
Yeah. I can't believe how sick you got.
I felt really bad the day we went out.
That's crazy. Why didn't you say anything?
Because I was having fun.
This is how it goes down.
Yeah, the only time I was like real sad was I wasn't hungry, you know?
Oh, man.
It was still good though.
Yeah, it was good. Something must be going around. This winter was interesting.
I know. It says it was like one of the hottest, one of the coldest weeks on record.
That's crazy. The snow by my parents' house is like all the way to the bottom. And it did snow, I guess.
Yeah.
In like
it snowed in Pasadena.
That's so weird. That's not right. Something's up.
Yeah, this weather is crazy. Climate change, baby.
Yeah. Climate change is real. To quote my boo, Leo. All right, so I'm going to do Phil Hartman.
Okay, I'm excited about this one.
I am too. Like, I like Phil Hartman, but I just think it's funny that I did Pee-wee and now I'm going to do Phil Hartman.
Yeah.
But it's like what I like. Like, I couldn't decide what to do. And then I was like, well, I'm just going to do what I like. So I got most of this from a few podcasts I listened to, including Nerdist and an article in the New York Post by Larry Getlin and the E! True Hollywood Story of Phil Hartman.
Okay, cool. Who was what Nerdist podcast? Like what?
I think it was Joe Rogan, actually.
Okay.
So Phil Hartman grew up the fourth of 8 children in a Catholic household. I know.
Oh, I knew that was coming. Once you said fourth of 8, I was like, he Catholic as hell, huh?
One of his younger sisters was born with a rare genetic disorder that required 24-hour care. So his mom dedicated himself to taking care of that sister, but then his mom started suffering breakdowns due to all the stress.
Oh my God, I bet.
Because she has 8 kids and one of them needs 24-hour care.
Yeah.
So then, like, the last straw basically was his mom was hospitalized because she had a breakdown and she wasn't taking care of herself.
Yeah.
She was taking care of everyone else. So then after that, his dad placed his sister in a nursing facility that was better equipped to take care of her full time.
Okay, well.
I think that's a hard decision, but I get it.
That is such a burden. Like, moms are for real, like, the real MVPs. Like,
Fuck yeah.
Shit is fucking crazy.
Fuck yeah. So then Phil's family moved to the United States because he was born in Canada. Did I say that?
No.
Yeah, he was born in Canada.
Okay, cool.
And by the time he was 12, he started doing impressions and shit to make people laugh. He was voted class clown his senior year of high school. Mm-hmm. And he went to Santa Monica City College right after high school, but then he dropped out to go on tour with his friend's rock band. He was like a roadie.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I can't imagine that. He seems like kind of straight-laced.
Yes, especially because of the characters he plays.
Yeah.
Eventually, he did go back to college. He went to Cal State Northridge. Mm-hmm. And he started a small graphic art business, which was pretty successful. And he created album covers.
Oh, okay. And Pee-wee went to art school.
Yeah.
So they had that in common. Okay.
Yeah. In 1970, he married local Malibu sweetheart Gretchen Lewis when he was 20 years old.
Wow. Okay.
They divorced by 1972. They were hella young.
Has anyone named Gretchen ever stayed married to their first husband, though?
Hell no. There's not a lot of info on this marriage, but his friends and family say that he was a ladies' man and he was like a pretty handsome looking young dude. And yeah, he liked flirting and shit. So I just think getting married at 20 wasn't the best move for him.
Yeah.
Or anyone for that matter. At age 27, he joined the Groundlings as an outlet for his voice talents.
Okay.
He was always a jokester and would amuse himself and everybody with impressions. So it was pretty natural for him to start doing this,
Yeah. Was this like maybe just a hobby for him before that? Because now he's 27, so some time has passed.
Yeah. So basically, the story he tells is like he always liked doing impressions and just making his friends laugh. And he had heard about the Groundlings. So he went to go see a performance of theirs. And he was like, holy shit, I want to do this.
Yeah. Okay. Dope.
Yeah. So at first, he paid his way in the Groundlings by redesigning their logo and merchandise because he was a graphic
Yeah.
designer. And by 1979, he was one of their main stars. Then at the Groundlings is where he met our friend Paul Rubens.
Mm-hmm.
And after meeting, they became instant homies, and he helped Paul create Pee-wee. And Phil played Captain Carl on the Pee-wee Herman show and on Pee-wee's Playhouse later on.
Awesome.
His opportunities were pretty limited in his 30s, and he ended up having a creative falling out with Paul, which I had never really known about.
Yeah.
But that's what led him to leaving the Pee-wee projects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So for a time there, he considered quitting acting because he was getting pretty frustrated, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. This is in the 80s?
Yeah, this is like, he's in the Groundlings. He's doing Pee-wee stuff. Well, I guess he had left the Groundlings.
Uh-huh.
He's doing like Pee-wee stuff. He hasn't like reached SNL yet. So he's kind of like in limbo.
Mm-hmm. And also, he's not young anymore.
Right. He's in his 30s.
I mean, he's young, but he's not like in Hollywood. It's like you got to be like
20,
early 20s. Yeah.
You got to be like the youngest they can get you.
Right.
In December 1982, he married Lisa Strain, a real estate agent who he remained married to for about 3 years. Mm-hmm. They have some footage of their wedding reception on his E! True Hollywood Story, and it's really cute because he's super dapper and he's like in a tux. And he sees the camera and he goes up to it and he's like, hello, everyone. Like he starts messing. Like you could totally hear like Lionel Hutz.
Yeah, I was going to say Troy McClure.
Yeah, it's totally like that. It's so funny. The couple both say that they had pretty wild sexual chemistry, but not much else.
Hey, sometimes that's enough.
That'll keep you going.
Yeah.
It kept them going for 3 years, so that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
That wife Lisa, she said that he was actually pretty reclusive off screen and he was pretty passive in emotional situations, which creates problems in relationships sometimes.
Yeah. You know why? It's because he had all those brothers and sisters too. Like you can't have a fight about every single thing. Sometimes you just got to be like, you know.
Seriously. So he liked to be in his own world, she said, and he was doing the Groundlings every weekend and auditioning nonstop. Yeah. Uh-huh. So it was kind of hard for their relationship.
Yeah.
But after they divorced, she says that they remained good friends throughout the rest of their lives.
That's the best.
Yeah. She said their problem in their relationship was distance and his focus on his career. It had nothing to do with like hard feelings or anybody cheating or anything like that. So
okay. Yeah.
Sometimes it's time, you know, the timing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He ended up getting pretty successful in voiceover roles at this time, and he had some small appearances on the Smurfs, Scooby-Doo, Dennis the Menace, and a few advertisements.
Zoinks!
I know! Then he auditioned for SNL, and he joined the cast and writing staff in 1986.
Okay.
He stayed on the show for 8 seasons, gaining a pretty huge following for his impressions and ability to perform in over 70 different characters.
Hell yeah.
His most famous impressions were Frank Sinatra, Ronald Reagan, Barbara Bush, Phil Donahue, and Bill Clinton. I think Bill Clinton is his famous one. Yeah. That's like the clip I saw everywhere.
Because I always, when I think of Clinton, I think of Daryl Hammond.
Yeah, me too. That one's good too. I think we're a little bit younger.
That's true.
So we don't remember this as much.
Or you know why? It's because it's the Clinton was like, he was only on the show for like a year or two probably when
Clinton was still president.
When Clinton was president, yeah.
Yeah.
But I also remember the Sinatra because he was with Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
And, like, yeah.
That's a good ass clip.
Yeah.
Early on in his SNL days, Phil was set up on a blind date with former model and aspiring actress Bryn Omdahl from a small town in Minnesota. So they went on a blind date while he was auditioning for SNL.
Okay. All right.
They fell in love super quickly and were married less than a year later in November 1987 when he was 39 and she was 29.
Okay.
And
So he by no means is like famous.
No. They went on
Okay.
a blind date while he was auditioning for SNL, and then they were like pretty serious, and then he got the part on SNL, and then they got married right away.
Okay. Okay.
So it was right at the beginning when his career was about to take off.
Uh-huh.
When they got married, she was pregnant with their first son, and when they got married, like I said, he got on SNL, and so they moved from LA to New York together. So they got really serious really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Bryn was a high school dropout who had married her high school sweetheart when she was 17 years old back in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
She left her small town and dumped her first man and headed to Hollywood to try and make it. It's a story we've heard several times.
Yeah. Plus, it's cold as hell over there. Like,
yeah, who wants to be in Minnesota?
I feel like we talk a lot of shit about Minnesota on
We
this
do,
podcast.
huh? We do. My bad. It's just a funny name. Minnesota. She struggled in Hollywood because she didn't really have any connections to anyone out here, and she wasn't landing roles or modeling gigs right away like she expected.
Uh-huh. But you know why? Because you could be like the baddest bitch in Minnesota, but guess where all the baddest bitches from everywhere come?
Exactly. That's exactly what it was for her, too. She was like most popular of her high school, and everybody loved her. So she thought, she was the shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And then she got to LA and she was not.
That happened. I feel like on 90 Day Fiance, all of the girls, they're like, they ask them, what do you want to do? Like when you come over here, and they're like, oh, I want to model.
Yeah, exactly. Like that one girl, Paola.
Yeah,
Remember
exactly.
her?
Yeah.
Oh,
from
God.
Colombia.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was annoying to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little bit more on Bryn later.
Okay.
In 1989, Phil won an Emmy for his writing on SNL, and the couple had their son, Sean. So he was successful right away.
That is awesome.
I know.
Like, you're on top of the world. You just got married. You just had a kid. You just won this Emmy. Your career's taken off.
Yeah,
like,
you're on this hit show now. You're getting all this recognition after struggling in your 20s,
Right.
They had a daughter, Berman, pretty soon after. Phil became an honorary sheriff around this time, and he really enjoyed going to the gun range in his pastime, and he started collecting guns in their home.
Interesting. He's from Canada?
Yeah, but he grew up in like Encino, and that's where he ends up living too. In 1993, Phil met Bill Clinton, and he famously told him, like, I guess I owe you a few apologies. But Bill Clinton was like, no, like, he was so awesome.
Yeah.
He was so down to earth. He was like, no, it's totally in good fun. And then I guess after they met, Bill sent him a signed picture saying, you're not the president, but you play a good one on TV sometimes.
That's tight.
Adam Sandler and Jan Hooks called Phil the glue of SNL because he was always helping other cast members. And Lorne Michaels said he kind of held the show together. He gave to everybody and demanded very little. He was very low maintenance.
You know what? I get that vibe from him. He just doesn't seem like attention hogging.
No.
Even though like you can't help but look at him like when he's doing his impressions and stuff. It's not like he's not like chewing the scenery or anything,
Yep, totally. Lorne also said that he thought Phil was kind of the least appreciated at the time by the media. Because that cast is, like, fucking good.
Yeah, the early 90s, late 80s cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1991, Phil tried to leave SNL, but Lorne Michaels convinced him to stay and had to outbid Jay Leno, who wanted Phil to be his sidekick on The Tonight Show.
Oh.
That would have been a cool gig, I think.
Yeah, maybe. But Jay never even had a sidekick, right?
I know.
Him having. Interesting. Okay.
Later, after his co-stars and friends, Jan Hooks, Dana Carvey, and John Lovitz left SNL, he was like, all right, I gotta leave now.
Yeah.
And in 1994, he officially quit SNL.
Mm-hmm.
Following that career change, he moved back to SoCal, and now he's in Encino, where he grew up.
Yeah.
In 1991, he was cast as the voices for a bunch of characters on our favorite childhood show, The Simpsons.
Yes. Hi, I'm Troy McClure.
You might remember me from some motivational videos as "Stop, your mother's dying." It was always like the stupidest shit, remember?
Yeah.
He first appeared in the second season for a one-time appearance as like some side character.
Yeah.
But the staff enjoyed him so much that they ended up writing more and more parts for him, saying that they basically tried to use him as much as possible.
I know. Awesome.
His most famous recurring characters are Lionel Hutz, aka the inspiration for me to go to law school. I'm Lionel Hutz. Here's my business card. It turns into a sponge when you put it in water.
That's the alternate version of American Psycho when they're comparing business cards.
Yeah. And our favorite Troy McClure, which we can't stop impersonating. He was also a bunch of other one-time characters.
Yeah.
Phil said that his favorite part ever was Troy McClure, and that Troy McClure fans were also his favorite fans ever.
Oh, holla.
He said, "This is the one piece of work I do in my life that's for the pure love of it."
Awesome.
Matt Groening said that Phil was so good, it was easy to take him for granted because he landed every line and joke so perfectly.
Yeah.
There was an interest in making a live-action film about Troy McClure.
Ooh, that's a really good idea. I would watch the shit out of that.
And it was backed by a lot of the Simpsons writers as well, who were going to sign on to write this.
Yeah, and this was like peak Simpsons time too.
Yes, this is when it's the best. I'm sure it was like Conan.
Yeah.
That's awesome. In 1995, Phil and Bryn, his wife, got cast on a variety show as the main couple. Because remember, she's trying to make it as an actress. So she's still auditioning and stuff. And she's just really not getting anything.
Okay.
But they got cast together on a variety show. But then the show got canceled before it ever made the air.
Interesting. A variety show?
Yeah.
In the 90s?
Yeah.
Okay.
From 1995 to 1998, Phil was a star on the NBC sitcom News Radio. Playing news anchor Bill McNeil. All of his characters have like the same name.
Yeah, for sure, huh? I've never seen this show, but like I know of it. Like I would see it like, on TV.
Yeah, so this show it was, people love this show. First of all, they say it was great but not popular because it didn't bring in the numbers, and I see a lot of comparisons to like Arrested Development actually.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm pretty interested. I heard it's on Hulu. I think I'm going to watch it. I'll report back.
Okay, cool.
It was always also on the brink of cancellation.
Oh, okay, like Arrested Development.
Yeah, I guess like they said like every time like mid-season they'd be like, "Oh, we're going to cancel it." And then like right at the end they'd be like, "Oh, you got renewed."
Yeah.
Hartman was also bringing in the big bucks at this time with his voiceover work. With a $300,000 deal for commercials of the soft drink Slice.
What?
He was voicing advertisements for McDonald's as this character Hugh McAttack. Hugh McAttack, which he earned over $1 million for his voiceover work with McDonald's.
Dude, voiceover work seems very lucrative and relatively easy. I mean, I don't know if it's easy, but like,
easy
compared
in terms
to others,
of like,
you could do it from your house.
Yeah, for sure.
And
you could do it looking like shit.
Yeah. That's why we have a
podcast. Y'all don't want to see us right now.
Hell, no. You definitely don't want to see me right now. I have like snot.
He was doing voiceover ads also for Coke, and you remember 1-800-COLLECT?
Oh yeah,
he was the voiceover guy for them.
Wow, I only remember we talked about this before, but the Spanish one.
1-800-26 27 27
27. Yeah.
People really applauded Phil's style of characters who are typically seedy, vain, or asshole-ish.
Yeah.
Especially when compared to his real life regular low-keyness, which everybody seemed to love.
Yeah.
He said his standard character is a weasel. Which that's a great lesser used insult that I need to incorporate into my regular life. Just like other people are trying to incorporate like vegetables, I try to incorporate insults.
It's part of your daily, it's part of like the food pyramid. You need it just as much as a piece of broccoli.
Yep, absolutely. So Hartman also, he was never like the main star of anything. And his roles were most of the time supporting, but he said this was actually really comforting to him. He was like, if the show bombs, I'm never the one to blame. His co-stars also all talk about how he would never turn down even the smallest supporting role on SNL sketches. He was always a team player, and if he was given like one line, he would give that one line his all. with his acting coach noting that he had a crazy work ethic with regard to his impressions.
Huh.
So they said that whenever he was going to play a character, he would put together crazy video footage of the person in order to be able to impersonate them to a T.
Oh, interesting.
Now back to his marriage to Bryn Omdahl. Their 11-year marriage had difficulties. Bryn, like I said, was an aspiring actress who was allegedly intimidated by Phil's success and frustrated at the way that her career was panning out.
Okay.
I think that she thought once Phil got successful that was going to help her career.
Yeah.
But it just never did. And neither of them wanted a divorce, but they weren't happy in their marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Phil allegedly thought about retiring early in order to save their marriage from time to time, but it's just hard to walk away from that success, you know?
It seems weird that he would be reluctant to get divorced because he'd been divorced.
Right. Know? But he said that now he felt like he was a family guy because they had kids.
Oh, yeah.
And now he felt like, you know, I don't know. He wanted to make it work.
I guess. Okay.
Also, let's not, honestly, like now he's making really good money and maybe that's another reason he didn't want to get divorced. True. You know?
Yeah. And they got
married right before. Yeah. So I'm sure there was no prenup.
Uh-huh.
Additionally, Bryn suffered from drug and alcohol addictions.
Mm-hmm.
By the time she met Phil, she had already been in rehab once for cocaine and alcohol addiction.
Wow.
Her sister said that when she was in high school, she was casually doing drugs, but she basically went from snorting to freebasing cocaine.
Oh my God.
And her sister said she was getting skinnier and skinnier, so her family just put her into rehab.
Yeah.
So Phil then tried to get Bryn acting roles, but she became more and more reliant on drugs and alcohol. So she was not doing well at her auditions.
Yeah. Damn, so he was trying to help her.
He was. He wanted to give up his career to try to help their marriage.
Yeah. Okay.
And Phil was getting more and more busy with his career as he was taking off, so she just felt abandoned.
Okay.
She ended up writing her own screenplay for a movie called Reckless Abandon.
Oh.
And that obviously that never got picked up by anybody.
Uh-huh.
And friends say the more successful he got, she became low-key addicted to plastic surgery because she just kept looking for something that would make her feel better about herself.
Oh,
so
wow.
She'd get little small things done here and there from time to time, but nothing ever made her feel better, you know?
Oh my God. I want to be rich enough to be addicted to plastic surgery.
No. That's not rich. That's bored, I think.
I want to be rich and bored enough to be addicted to plastic surgery. You're right.
And above everything else, what everybody says about Bryn was that she was jealous. Huh. She was jealous of everyone. She was jealous of everything. She was jealous of his career. She was jealous.
Yeah.
She was super jealous of Phil's relationship with SNL co-star Jan Hooks.
Yeah.
He played a lot of scenes with her, and they were kind of like work husband and wife. You know that expression?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I guess Bryn would always say he's married to her on some other level, like around people.
Uh-huh.
I hate those kind of comments that married people make, like that, you know, are just veiled in jealous rage. Like, they act like it's a joke, but like everybody knows that shit ain't not a joke.
And also, like, that specific comment is like very deep, like on another level. Like, she's gonna know him in ways that I don't know him.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Yeah. Jan Hooks says that she and Phil, obviously, they had huge love for one another, but it was strictly platonic. So she says his reputation was correct in that he was a ladies' man and he did like to flirt. And they would do sketches where they'd have to make out or something. And then he'd tell her something like, "You gave me a huge boner," and run away.
Yeah.
But I still think it was all in good fun. And Jan says for sure they were never involved romantically. They were never involved in any way sexually. He was always married and he was committed to Bryn.
Uh-huh.
Bryn would also time
but
her
there
fights.
is but there is a level of intimacy there.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Even though it's in good fun, like I wouldn't be cool with that shit.
But like you almost,
but that's
you have
the guy
to be
you
cool
marry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you married him. You knew he was like that. Guys that are like that. They're like that with everyone.
Right. Yeah.
You
like
know?
it could for sure rub you the wrong way, but you can't be like it can't be like you can't make a huge deal out of it.
Yeah. And the SNL crew says that Bryn would like time her fights with Phil right before rehearsals or right before live shows. Like she was getting hella like extra.
Girl, but that's your paycheck too. That's your paycheck too.
I
Why
know.
are you fucking with
she
that?
just wants to sabotage it all.
Yeah.
Kaufman said that Bryn once came into rehearsals while everybody was like doing a round table, and that she went around sitting on every man's lap and kissed them and put her tongue in their ears in front of Phil.
Ew, what a weirdo.
Like jokingly.
Yeah.
And he said that everybody on the cast was totally sketched out, but Phil was just like laughing. But everybody knew, like, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like that was not okay. Like
that shit is fucking weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
His friend and co-star from News Radio, Joe Rogan, said that Phil and Bryn's relationship was super toxic.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he always tried to get Phil to leave her and get over the family man image that he was saying that he was trying to keep up.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, that's part of the reason Phil would stay with her.
Uh-huh.
Joe and other News Radio cast members said that Bryn would openly insult Phil at parties around everybody, and she would try to like embarrass him.
Oh, this is like
bad.
Yeah. Oh, I'm cringing.
Yeah. Friends say Phil would show up to set with scratches on his face after fighting with Bryn the night before.
Oh my God.
They would break up and he'd go live on his boat for a while, so he'd come to work looking all fucking
seasick.
Yeah. She'd embarrass him and then they'd get back together and try to work it out.
Yeah.
Phil's second wife, Lisa, said that she sent Phil and Bryn a congratulations card when their first son was born.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that in response, Bryn sent her a 4-page letter threatening to rip her eyes out and to stay the fuck away from Phil and the baby, or that she'd kill her.
Holy shit.
Lisa said she called Phil and was like, dude, do you know who you're married to? Like, this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
And his response to her was, you should have seen the letter she wanted to write.
Oh my God.
I know.
Dude. And this is crazy too, because it wasn't like, okay, it was like a straight up letter she probably had to either type out or handwrite.
Yeah.
And then like put that shit in the mail. Like this wasn't like in a
flippant statement that she made to her face that she later regretted.
Right. Or an email that you just sent it out and then you're like, oh shit, how did I do that? You know, like this is like
unsend.
This took multiple steps. Like you had to go to the mailbox.
You had to get a stamp.
Yes.
That shit is real. You had to know her address. On Mother's Day, 1997, Bryn came home plastered, and a furious Phil Hartman insisted that she go to rehab. So she did, but then checked herself out 2 days later.
Oh.
Phil's friend, Cassandra Peterson, who he knew from the Groundlings and who is better known for her role as Elvira, said that she always tried to discourage Phil from being with Bryn. And at first, she tried to discourage him from even marrying her.
Yeah.
Because she said that Bryn was so jealous, she put a damper on all of his friendships. And friends say that Bryn had trouble controlling her anger, and it seemed like she got attention from Phil by losing her temper.
Yeah, she's toxic.
Yeah, she's super toxic. The couple was in counseling throughout their entire marriage. They would get along great while Bryn was sober, and they'd make plans to retire on Catalina Island because Phil really loved it there. Phil was getting paid about $50,000 per episode on News Radio around this time.
Yep.
But when things got bad, Phil, like I said, he was reclusive. So he would just stop showing up to counseling. He'd get really distant from her. And that would just make her feel worse. Bryn's friends say that she confided in them that they only were having sex about twice a year towards the end of their marriage.
Her birthday, his birthday?
Maybe. She had been in and out of rehab, and she was towards the end, she was checking herself in for like a few days and then checking back out on her own.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. I think she would like make promises to him, like, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better.
Yeah.
But she just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
On May 27th, 1998, Bryn Hartman visited Buca de Beppo in Encino, California with her friend and producer Christine Zander. and she discussed career woes over 2 Cosmopolitans and 1 beer. Then she went to her friend Ron Douglas's house and complained about Phil's absences, saying that his preference for hanging out with other friends made her feel like shit.
Okay.
She drank 3 more beers while she was at this guy's house.
Uh-huh.
Also, I looked up what day of the week this was, and it was a Wednesday, which makes it particularly wild for me because I don't really know anybody post-college who casually has 4 beers and 2 martinis in the middle of the week.
I do.
Do they have a jab?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. She returned home around 1 a.m. and Bryn and Phil had a heated argument, according to neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Phil allegedly threatened to leave her again if she started doing drugs. After the fight, he went to bed, and while he slept, Bryn entered his room just before 3 a.m. and fatally shot him twice in the head and once in the side of the chest with the .38 caliber handgun that was in their home.
Ugh.
She was both drunk and high, with cocaine later having been found in her system.
Yeah.
Bryn then drove back to her friend Ron Douglas's house, drunk and barefoot, and confessed to murdering Phil. This friend Ron didn't believe her at first, so the pair drove back to Bryn and Phil's house in separate cars, and then he found the gun in her purse. So Ron Douglas entered the home, found Phil's body, and called 911 at 6:20 a.m.
Oh, how scary was this like whole ride over there? And like, yeah.
Police arrived and escorted the 2 children, ages 9 and 6, who were both in the house when everything happened, from the house. But at this point, Bryn locked herself in the bedroom with Phil's body. She called her sister and told her to tell the children that she loved them, and again confessed to killing Phil. She laid in bed with Phil's body and committed suicide.
Oh my God.
Los Angeles police stated that Phil's death was caused by a domestic discord. That's how they put it in his police record. It later came out that Bryn was on the antidepressant Zoloft as well, which later led to a wrongful death lawsuit being filed by Bryn's sister against Pitzer, the drug manufacturer. They also sued a psychiatrist who had provided the samples to her, and later the company settled on behalf of the children.
But don't they tell you like not to drink and not to do drugs though? So don't you bear some like brunt of the responsibility?
Yeah, but you can still file a lawsuit and get a settlement. Phil's friend and former SNL co-star John Lovitz has long accused Hartman's former news radio co-star Andy Dick for reintroducing Bryn to cocaine at a holiday party the year before.
That's the tea. That's the story I've heard.
That's the tea that you hear around. And this has allegedly led to a long-term fight between John Lovitz and Andy Dick. In 2006, John Lovitz claimed that Andy Dick approached him at a restaurant and said, quote, "I put the Phil Hartman's hex on you, and you're going to be the next one to die."
Whoa.
John then pushed Andy into the bar at that restaurant.
Whoa.
In 2007, at a Laugh Factory in LA, John and Andy got into another fight publicly about the same issue, with John smashing Andy's head into the bar 4 or 5 times, according to Laugh Factory owner Jamie Masada.
Oh my God.
This is an ongoing thing between them. I think John, like in his heart of hearts, believes that Andy had something to do with Phil's death.
Yeah, and also, these are the 2 most... Imagine these 2 being in a fight.
I
like,
know.
just... this is
Andy
crazy.
Dick is a fucking... There is nobody on this earth I think I would least like to speak to.
Yeah, he's a weasel.
He's fucking disgusting. Like, he's so annoying. I don't even know how he's famous.
Right.
He's gross. Hasn't he been accused of a lot of sexual misconduct?
Yes.
With minors, right?
I don't know if with minors, but certainly like young girls. Kelly Oxford talks about him in his book, like the first time she visited LA, like she was super young. She was like 18 or something. And he like, tried to do coke with her or something. Like it was...
That's disgusting.
Crazy. But this is like an open... The Andy Dick problem is like an open... It's not even a secret.
In Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah. It's just, even before the Me Too movement, this is like years and years that everybody knows about fucking Andy Dick.
Yeah. Fuck that fool.
Yeah.
Phil and Bryn's 2 children were later raised by Bryn's sister, Catherine, and Catherine's husband. Phil Hartman had stipulated that both of his children would receive their inheritance over several years after they turned 25. He ended up being cremated and his ashes were scattered over Catalina Island per his will.
Oh.
Following his murder, News Radio held an episode mourning his death as they played it off like his character had a heart attack. The Simpsons were canceled on the day of his death, as well as performances by the Groundlings.
Oh.
The Simpsons retired all of Hartman's characters, and the character of Zap Brannigan in Futurama, which had been made especially for him, was later given to Billy West to voice.
Yeah.
And Billy West says that he knew that this was Phil's character, and so he tries to mimic Phil's voice as much as possible when he plays Zap.
Yeah.
Both of the families, despite the tragedy, held a united front and held a joint funeral for the children. There were pictures of the couple together, and John Hartman, Phil's dad, gave a speech and said that both of them were victims of the same incident, that there's nobody to hate and no one to blame. I beg you to forgive her, put this in your past, and close the door.
That's all you can do, dude.
Yeah. But I did listen to Phil's brother in a podcast later on, and he basically said that after the kids were given to Bryn's sister to raise, Phil's family kind of lost touch with them because they they did forgive her, but it was hard for them.
I'm sure.
And so he was like, I can't lie and say that we have this great close relationship because we don't. It was just so hard for all of us.
And there's no right way or wrong way to respond to that situation. Like, it's just
right. You have to do
whatever
whatever you can to move on.
Yeah.
Sean and Bergen, the pups, they're now in. Sean is in his early 30s and Bergen is in her late 20s. She has a pretty funny Twitter account, I must say.
Oh, really?
She recently attended the 40th anniversary of the SNL, which honored her dad. And Phil has been named one of the SNL's top 10 cast members of all time. Phil Hartman's legacy lives on, and he's remembered as a great comedian and an even greater dude.
Aw.
R.I.P. Phil Hartman.
Yeah. Aw. I'm Troy McClure. That was really sad. Like, it's just like it's just like a waste.
Yeah. I hate those Simpsons episodes where it's like in loving memory of Phil Hartman. It's so sad. And SNL, the week that Phil died, did a montage of all of his best characters too.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But what do you do? Like, there was, you try to like go over the story and think like what could have been different, what could have saved him, and it's just like, man, it was just a toxic person on a rampage,
Yeah, but let's not also forget that Phil had guns in his house, which maybe I don't think maybe this wouldn't have happened if he didn't have guns in his house. I don't know, but something about having guns in such close proximity to somebody that's clearly unstable.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the safest bet.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh. R.I.P. Phil.
R.I.P.
Good job, Steph. It's weird to say I like that story, but that's such a fascinating story.
Yeah. His death is every time you Google his name, it's like top 10 most shocking deaths in Hollywood. Like, people really couldn't believe that this happened. And, you never hear that happening in anywhere, really. Like, it's hard to think of a wife killing her husband when the children are there. And to think that it happened to somebody famous is just insane.
Right.
Studio 54 is probably the Mount Olympus of the disco world.
All right, guys, I'm up. I'm going to do a place.
Ooh.
Which
we're going to talk about.
Because I also did I did the Moonlight Bunny rant, so this is my second place.
Ooh.
Which is interesting. But I'm going to do Studio 54.
Yeah. I saw the documentary on Netflix and I was like, should I watch this? Nah.
You should watch it.
Well, I was thinking no, because I was just going to wait for you.
Oh, okay. So most of this is from that documentary, Studio 54, which is currently on Netflix. I also rewatched the 1998 movie 54, which in my mind was a really good movie based on the last time I watched it when I was like 12 years old.
Me too. And I remember liking it when I was young.
Yeah, but in reality, it is fucking trash. Basura. Just
Shut
like straight
up,
trash.
man.
It has everything though. It has fine ass fuck disco snack Ryan Phillippe at peak Ryan Phillippe.
Yeah. Chloe
And
Sevigny.
no, she's not in it.
She's not in that one?
No. And Ryan
Oh, she's
Phillippe's
in the Last Days of Disco.
yeah.
Okay.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. So Ryan Phillippe spends the whole movie basically wearing nothing but short shorts.
Perfect.
It has Salma Hayek at peak sexiness. Her boobies were still high and tight, baby.
Hell yeah.
It has Mike Myers in his first dramatic role, and he actually wasn't bad in it. And it has music. And if you're
oh, it has music?
it has like good music.
Yeah.
And like if you're a fan of our playlist, you'll know that we love disco.
Yeah.
But I watched it and I was like, what the fuck is this sanitized piece of shit?
Really?
Yeah. Turns out there's tea behind this movie.
Ooh.
Turns out that the first couple of test screenings of the movie in LA and New York went really well. But then they screened it once in the suburbs and the audience lost their fucking minds and completely hated it.
What?
Because it was like, there was like sex and drugs and yeah, they hated it. So Harvey Weinstein had them reshoot and re-edit half the movie into the movie that was released in
Fuck Harvey
1998.
Weinstein.
And just another reason to fuck Harvey Weinstein. And so the movie that was released, ultimately, the critics panned it and no one saw it.
Wow.
Anyway, someone had leaked a bootleg copy of the original cut of the movie shortly after the first movie was released, and it became a sort of cult underground landmark piece of queer cinema. Ryan Phillippe is bisexual in it. There's more gay scenes, more drug use. The characters' motivations actually make fucking sense. And I'd never heard of this cut of the movie before, but I watched it, and Harvey Weinstein did this movie fucking dirty. Like, it's actually a decent movie.
Wow.
It screened in 2015 at the Berlin Film Festival, and audiences and critics have started to revisit it. So I get that. I guess that's pretty cool. So if you're interested and want to watch this movie, try to watch the director's cut. So anyway, the story of Studio 54 is really the story of its founders, Steve Rubell and Ian Schrager. Mike Myers plays Steve in the movie. And Steve is this larger-than-life character who dreamed big and loved fame and attention. Ian isn't portrayed in the movie because he's more low-key than Steve, but in real life, they were complete equals, and Ian was the more behind-the-scenes guy, and Steve was like the face of Studio 54. Steve has come up in this podcast before, I think like in episode 1 or 2 when we talked about Sean Penn and Madonna's wedding.
Right.
Because he was photographed at the wedding kicking it in the back of a limo with Andy Warhol, Keith Haring, and Tom Cruise, allegedly maybe doing coke.
Yeah.
So Steve and Ian met in college in 1964 at Syracuse, and they hit it off because they were from similar backgrounds. They were both these middle-class kids from Brooklyn. Steve's dad was a tennis pro, so Steve's dad would like go to teach tennis to these ultra rich people at their estates and shit. And that exposed Steve to that level of wealth at a young age, and he aspired to run in those circles because he was always on the outside looking in. Ian's dad was low-key mobbed up, but Ian never really realized that until much, much later. Anyway, so Steve studied history and finance, and Ian became a lawyer. Steve opened a chain of steak restaurants and expanded a bit too fast, so his business wasn't doing very well. So he called his buddy Ian to act as his lawyer and help him get out of his mess, and that was when their business partnership was born. In 1977, Ian suggested that they go into the nightclub business because he saw that there was maybe some money to be made there. Steve says that was perfect because the Vietnam War had just ended, Watergate had just ended, so people were ready to like just chill for a minute, have some fun, because everything had been so tense and so serious for so long.
Yeah.
So Steve and Ian started going to all the clubs in Manhattan, trying to figure out what kind of vibe they wanted to have at their place. Steve was gay, and I don't want to say he was necessarily closeted because people, like his peers, knew he was gay. But the way Ian describes it, it was just a non-issue. It was just something that even as close as they were, it never came up and no one ever discussed it. He just did his thing and it was nothing. But I think he was closeted to, like, let's say his parents. His parents didn't know he was gay. Anyway, so Steve was like, you know where shit really gets turned the fuck up? At the gay clubs. They're underground. They play disco, which at that time was mostly known as black music. All the artists go there, the hottest girls go there, all the big time models and shit, and all the straight guys want to go there because all the baddest bitches are there. So basically, they set out to recreate that vibe and that energy of like all the gay hotspots and take it to the next level.
Mm.
So they walk into the old CBS television studios on 8th Avenue and 54th Street on the west side, which is like a wasteland at that time. And they immediately lease the building on the spot. And people are like, you guys are fucking crazy because this was the sleaziest neighborhood in the city. It was like where you'd be, they call it the place where you'd most likely get mugged.
Uh-huh.
The building itself was a TV studio. And before that, it was an opera house. So it was a theater setting with a big mezzanine balcony on the second level and all the studio and stage lighting intact on the ceiling. So they got all these Broadway theater designers to come design the lighting and the club interior to make the best use of the existing infrastructure, including installing bass speakers in the dance floor so you could really feel the music. Which that tells you they already knew that people were going to be on hella drugs in there.
Yeah.
They got the club up and running in 6 weeks for $700,000 and registered their company as Broadway Catering Corporation. But because they only had 6 weeks to open the club, they didn't have time to get a liquor license. So that's why they called themselves a catering company so that they could go down to the New York State Liquor Authority and get one-day permits every night as if they were caterers to serve alcohol. They sent out thousands of invitations and got press strategically placed in all of the important magazines and newspapers. And finally, they opened on April 26, 1977. When you hear some of the press people and even Ian talk about those 6 weeks and even up to hours before opening night, it could have easily been a fire festival situation because nothing was done. Like they were still like hammering, like digging and stuff the day of. It was basically a construction site without a liquor license, so things could have gone very wrong for them, but by some miracle, they finished in time. And whatever press placement they did worked. Because that first night, the crowd outside was so huge that the entire street in front of the club was shut down, which no one was really ready for, and it left Ian and Steve and their skeleton security team scrambling outside to try to get control of the situation.
Wow.
So that pandemonium outside caused the press to notice and word of mouth to spread that this club must be the fucking shit and something crazy must be going on in there if that sort of scene is being created outside. And from that night on, for every single night for 33 months, Studio 54 became the center of the universe. Everyone you've ever wanted to hang out with was a regular there. Diane von Furstenberg, Andy Warhol, Cher, who was at the opening night, Diana Ross, Liza Minnelli, Drew Barrymore, Farrah Fawcett, Calvin Klein, Truman Capote, Angelica Houston, Bianca Jagger, Rod Stewart, Michael Jackson, John McEnroe, Halston, Debbie Harry, Mick Jagger, Grace Jones, Elton John, Brooke Shields, Mikhail Baryshnikov, Iman, David Bowie, and I could go on, and we're just talking about regulars.
Yeah, that's crazy. Imagine that Grace Jones is a regular at your bar.
Yeah, this shit is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there were people who just showed up like once or twice, like Grace Kelly and fucking Woody Allen, which that's how poppin' the club was. Woody Allen put down his fucking clarinet to go check it out. When I say that it was poppin' every night, I mean every night. And if you're like me, you might ask yourself, didn't people get bored coming to the same club every night? And the answer is no, because every night would be themed something different. Since it used to be a theater, it lent itself for changing the scenery easily and quickly. And like if Dolly Parton was throwing a party one night, they'd bring in cows and pigs and farm animals and hay and shit. And if it was closer to Halloween, they'd do like a sideshow attraction and have a family of little people in a box eating like a whole ass formal dinner. So opening night was at the end of April and they were immediately the biggest club in New York. But then in May, Bianca Jagger, who was the it girl at the time, there's no one really to compare her with now. Like she was maybe Kim Kardashian and Gigi Hadid and Ariana Grande rolled into one. Well, she had her birthday there and infamously rode around on the dance floor on a white horse. The iconic photos of Bianca on the horse were on the front of every newspaper in the world after that, and that was it for Studio 54. From that moment on, it was where everyone in the world wanted to be, from kings and queens and sultans and artists and rock stars and plumbers to fucking everyone. Liz Taylor had her birthday there. The Rockettes performed and they made a life-size cake version of her and she ate her own titty. Karl Lagerfeld had his birthday there, and it was 18th century France themed with everyone in powdered wigs and everything was candlelit. It was fucking lit, like literally.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Oh, I don't know if R.I.P. because he was like
Problematic, but he died.
problematic as fuck. Yeah.
Okay, R.I.
Or just R, just rest.
Yeah, rest, my dude.
RMD. One of the most iconic lasting memories about Studio 54 was its door policy. Steve himself would stand outside and handpick who from the crowd was getting in that night. If they didn't get in, some people would cry, others would threaten violence or worse.
Oh
I
my
think
gosh.
like one of the doormen got shot at, I know. And others would just leave and try to get in again the next night, and the night after that, and the night after that. Someone's body was actually found in full black tie attire after they died in the vent system trying to sneak in.
What?
In Rolling Stone, they said they found him after it smelled like a cat had died, so they sent someone looking in the vents.
What?
Steve used to say, quote, "It's like mixing a salad or casting a play. If it gets too straight, then there's not enough energy in the room. If it gets too gay, then there's no glamour. We want it to be bisexual. Very, very bisexual." Of course, even rich, famous, and glamorous people sometimes didn't get in either. Frank Sinatra was famously turned away. And of course, the band Chic was turned away one night despite being invited by Grace Jones, which which led to them going back to Nile Rodgers' apartment down the street, and they started jamming and yelling, "Ah, fuck off," really loud, hoping that the bouncers at 54 could hear them. But soon enough, they realized that it low-key sounded like a bop, so they changed the lyric to "Ah, freak out," and it hit number 1 and it sold a shit ton of records.
Hell yeah.
Steve wanted to keep the party poppin', so he'd often hand his celebrity friends Quaaludes as they walked in. But of course, there was a lot of other drug use in the club, mostly cocaine. But everyone was just having a great time, and this was in the small period of time after the pill was common but before the AIDS epidemic, so everyone was just going wild.
Yeah.
There was sex happening everywhere. In the balcony, in the stairways, in the broom closets, in the fire escapes, in the basement, everywhere. Eventually, they had to cover part of the balcony with rubber to make it easier to wash off at night.
Oh, shit.
So shit was definitely going down at 54 that both the club goers and Steve and Ian certainly didn't want out in the world. I mean, for sure, the drug use was kind of an open secret, but that was sort of to be expected. Same with the sex, but at least that wasn't illegal. But then there were the things that were illegal, like posing as a catering company to serve alcohol. That caught up with them kind of quickly and they were raided by the cops.
Uh-oh.
And obviously, with everything else that was going on, you certainly want to keep the cops as far away as possible if you can help it.
Yeah, you gotta keep them happy.
Yeah, exactly. They were forced to serve fruit juice until they could get their liquor license.
Oh.
So Steve and Ian hired notorious mafia lawyer and former personal lawyer to Donald Trump, Roy Cohn, to represent them. I think that Roy was an associate of Ian's father, so he agreed to work for the guys. Roy ended up helping them get their liquor license super fast, like within a month, which was great for them because they were making a shit ton of money. The first year, they made somewhere in the neighborhood of $7 million.
Wow.
Cash.
Wow.
And in a cash business, it wouldn't be unusual for the owners to skim a little cash off the top to go straight in their pockets without reporting it to the IRS. And Steve and Ian were no different. Although this, of course, is illegal. And they weren't just skimming like 5 or 10% off the top. They were skimming more like 80%.
Oh my God. They weren't skimming then. That's not the proper word. That's not skimming.
The IRS was skimming off the top.
Fuck.
They were taking in so much cash that halfway through the night, the bartenders would dump all their cash into trash bags, along with receipt papers, and start with fresh rolls for the rest of the night. Then Steve and Ian would take the trash bags full of cash and hide them in the ceiling panels of the club.
Jesus.
For Andy Warhol's birthday, Steve got him a trash can full of $1,000 and $1 bills, and Andy said that it was the best present that he ever got.
Wow.
He spread it out and rolled around in it like Scrooge McDuck.
Oh, God.
Steve, who was super deep into partying by this time, was often fucked up on drugs. He went on TV and started bragging about how much money they were making and said that the only business that was doing better than them was the mafia. This, of course, caught the attention of the IRS, who was not happy that this motherfucker was out there basically daring them to investigate. And we all know the two things you can't escape in this world: death and taxes.
Ugh.
On December 14th, 1978, 30 IRS agents entered Studio 54 and seized garbage bags.
Fucked up.
And they were like, "What up, Grace Jones?
We're here to party."
And they seized garbage bags full of cash from the basement and financial records hidden behind ceiling panels.
Oh my gosh.
So Ian found out that this was going down at the club, and he busted in to try to find out what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
And they allegedly found 5 ounces of cocaine on and around his books, and he was arrested.
Oh my gosh. What an idiot.
That's what everyone was saying. He said himself, like, or no, his lawyer was like, fucking, if you're being investigated by like 30 federal agents, like, don't bust in with like cocaine like on your person. Just don't do that shit.
Faded ass.
Steve was also arrested later that day. The club was thought to be taking in $70,000 a night, and Steve and Ian were accused of skimming $2.5 million each. They were released the next morning on $50,000 bail each, worked out by their lawyer, Roy Cohn. On June 28th, 1979, a grand jury indicted them and their silent partner on 12 counts, including fraud and tax evasion. They pleaded not guilty.
What?
And then and then Steve did the absolute most and accused President Carter's White House Chief of Staff, Hamilton Jordan, of using cocaine in the basement of 54 in April of 1978. He was like, if I'm going down, I'm taking everybody down with me. In Vanity Fair, a close associate of Steve said, quote, ultimately, Steve became completely mad with power. He lost his mind. He thought he was above the law. The drugs, the Quaaludes, had a lot to do with it. He was completely out of touch with reality.
Oh, no.
Meanwhile, as Roy Cohn negotiated a plea bargain, the party at Studio 54 went on and on and on. That September, Steve and Ian unveiled $1 million expansion, including a 3rd floor and a moving stage swept above the dance floor.
Oh, shit.
Wasn't Kanye trying to say he invented moving stages a few months ago?
Kanye's stupid.
I think he was like feuding with Lord, because Lord was like, actually, I did that also. Like,
I forgot about that.
Years ago.
Yeah.
And Lord is like 5 years old. She's trying to say she invented moving stages. Like,
both of them need to relax.
Anyway, in November, their silent partner cooperated against them. That guy, like, low-key had no choice. He wasn't even a party guy. He was just like the money guy who like fronted them. So that guy had no choice. He like had to cooperate against them, basically. So since he cooperated against them, it forced Ian and Steve to plead guilty to 2 counts of corporate and personal income tax evasion. And in January 1980, they were sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. Diana Ross hosted their going away party. She sang My Way with Steve. And Liza Minnelli sang New York, New York.
Wow.
Honestly, I would go to prison for 3 years if I had Diana and Liza. 4 tons of glitter was brought in that night and covered the dance floor 4 inches deep.
Oh my God.
So that when you stepped in it, it was sort of like sand.
Wow.
They said that people would find it like in their houses and stuff months and months later.
Oh my God, man. Yeah, you think if you partied in Studio 54, you would just randomly find glitter throughout the 80s?
Yeah, in Coke.
Random clothes and stuff? Yeah.
Anyway, so that was really the last time that Studio 54 was Studio 54.
Yeah.
While in prison, Steve and Ian sold the club to new owners, and after serving 2 years, they provided information leading to the conviction of 4 other New York club owners and were released. Snitching. The new 54 owners kept them on as consultants for a few months, but things weren't the same. It was the 80s now, disco was dead, and AIDS was about to change everything.
Yeah.
But the club continued to operate as Studio 54 until 1986.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Steve and Ian opened another legendary club, Palladium, which in the mid-80s became the epicenter of the New York counterculture art scene. The two soon moved on from that and got into the hotel business when they opened Morgan's, which was kind of the first ever hip like boutique hotel.
Uh-huh.
In 1989, Steve died of complications from AIDS, and his funeral was attended by a ton of 54 regulars. It was basically a reunion.
Yeah, that's sad.
It's so sad. Ian was, of course, crazy heartbroken because he said that, like, for 20 years, not a single day had gone by without him talking to Steve.
Oh, that's really hard.
They even bought a house together in the Hamptons. It was crazy.
Wow.
He said that they were everything to each other. They were like brothers or husband and wife, but he didn't know which one was the wife. Ian continued in the hotel business and formed the Morgan's Hotel Group and later the Ian Schrager Company, which owns and operates over 100 properties, including some of the hippest boutique hotels in the world,
Wow.
like Gramercy Park Hotel in New York and Mondrian in LA, among others. It's hard to get a figure on Ian's net worth, but I'm pretty sure he's a billionaire, like a for real one, because he lives on what's called Billionaire Lane in Southampton, next to like a Koch brother, and he's balling out of control.
Holy shit.
And in January 2017, Ian received a pardon from President Obama after the original 54 prosecutors recommended that he be pardoned.
Aww.
They said that he's since been an asset to his community because obviously he's a patron of the arts and a philanthropist.
Yeah.
And that he just got caught up in the excitement of the phenomenon that was 54.
Aww.
Which is definitely some rich white people bullshit, but okay. And that's the story of Studio 54.
Hell yeah. Ooh, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love.
Yes. I think that's the song that opens the movie 54.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Dude, like, that movie's fun. It could have been so much more, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Even though it's crap. I'll try to find the director's cut.
Yeah. You'll see, look at the director's cut, because then you'll see, like, Ryan Philby macking on boys and stuff, like, in, like, hot tubs. It's sexy.
I just rewatched Cruel Intentions, because it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about how we watched it silently. The DJ, when we were in Canada, played it silently in the background at the club, and we were talking about how we never noticed like that the acting was bad.
Yeah, the acting's awful.
Until we saw it like silently.
Yeah.
That will still be one of my favorite movies forever, though.
Oh yeah, that's a great ass movie. Oh, well guys, thanks for sticking with us. We made it.
Yes. We made it.
Hit us,
unlike Studio 54.
Yeah, seriously. Hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at Drama Club Pod. Hit us up on our email, dramaclubpod@gmail.com, on the website, dramaclubpod.com.
Wait, you said that.
Oh, no, I didn't. I said on our Gmail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm tripping. On the hotline, 505-539-0556.
Tune in on Monday for our afternoon delight. We love you.
Goodbye. Ooh, I'm in love.
However, whatever with your helmet.